Hello again folks, and in this video I'm going to be weighing up the pros and cons of an improvement that someone wanted for Gouken in version 2013. Now that is Parryable Reversals. Now Dudley already has this skill, he can parry reversals already, and if you're not sure what a reversal is, it's basically any special move you do which is not inherently armor breaking can be given armor breaking status when it's done on the first free frame of leaving hit stun or block stun, or on the first free frame of wake up. So if they're on their wake up and they mash uppercut and you do a focused attack or a parry, it'll shatter the focused attack or parry because it's given armor breaking status and it counts as a reversal. So that's what that means, okay? Now he wants to be able to parry those like Dudley can. So I know it's available in the code already, in the game code, because Dudley can do it. Now he can't parry normal armor breaking moves, so that's the line that we draw, okay? So in this video I'm going to try and be as unbiased as possible, and to do this I'm just going to put the comparison between a Shoryuken on the opponent's wake up against a EX parry on the opponent's wake up, okay? So they're the two things I'm going to compare, and you can make your own decision on whether you think it's going to be overpowered, broken, cheap, or whether you think actually it's not that big of a difference and we're not going to use it that much. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is when we EX parry on their wake up. Now first, these are the things which they can do to get out of our EX parry pressure, which is not a sentence I thought I would say very often. The first thing they can do is to dash forward or back. Normally you won't forward dash into them, but back dash is a very common way to try and get out of pressure depending on how good your back dash is. And you can't necessarily punish us for it, but at least you're out of the pressure. The next thing is to do nothing, just crouch block. You will be able to punish us with whatever you want afterwards. You could wake up with an armor breaking move, so a tatsu or a wheel kick or something like that, and that will break the parry, because although it can parry reversals, it can't parry armor breaking moves. You could also wake up with a non-attack special, so any move like Merciless's roll, or even attack specials which are not immediately attack specials, so a demon flip for example. An EX demon flip, you could wake up with that because the parry would have ended by the time you come down on them, so you'll be able to punish them that way. You could throw them. Now that's a very simple one. You can throw the EX parry. You could jump and punish them on the way down with a chop to the face and a full damage combo. So this next one is going to be in the realms of depends what the character is. Some ultras you can punish. Now if Dan did his ultra on his wake up, his ultra 1 I believe it is, then you can normally parry it. It'll be given reversal status, but that means you can parry it in this rule anyway, if given these reversal rules. But then again you can parry fireball ultras, but any ultras that you couldn't normally parry, like a tiger knee, tiger destruction one, then you wouldn't be able to anyway. So it depends on the character. So the only things you can't do if we did an EX parry on your wake up are non-armor breaking specials, so uppercuts, wreckers, burning kicks, those type of things, because you get caught by the parry of course due to these rules, and normals. Now the only two reasons I can think you'd do normals on your own wake up is a crouch tech because you thought we were going to grab, in which case we catch you with a parry, so that seems like a viable okay way. We thought you were going to do something, so we did an EX parry or normal parry, or you're mashing light punch or light kick in a chance to hopefully interrupt whatever we were doing, in which case I think that's okay to punish mashing jab or mashing light punch. So now we're on to if I was Ryu for example and I was Shoryuken you on your own wake up. Okay, so the first thing you could do to avoid the Shoryuken is to do nothing. You can just block and you take the chip damage if they were trying to kill you with that, but apart from that you're safe. Now that is actually the only thing which is guaranteed to not get hit by the Shoryuken. Now this next section is very character specific, so that's the whole point about this. This yellow area is very character specific. You could dash. Now depending if you're Kami, you could probably escape the Shoryuken, so it'll go in the green section. But if you're Sagat, then you probably can't, so it'll go in the red section. So it does depend on the character. Some ultras the same, but it's different ultras this time. Dan's ultra 1 would probably catch a Shoryuken, but then again if you did a fireball ultra, the EX invincibility on the Shoryuken would probably get through that. Okay, so it does depend on some ultras. armor breakers and non-armor breaking specials. Now they're the same thing when you're talking about a Shoryuken. So any special moves, depending on whether it beats yours. So if I was Ryu doing an uppercut, if Seth did his uppercut on his wake up, I would probably lose. But if Dudley did his uppercut on his wake up, then I would win. So it depends on the character again. And also, lastly, non-attack specials. So EX Demon Flip, again, that would win. But other moves probably wouldn't. So Karakusa would lose, EX Demon Flip would win. So the thing about the yellow section, it's very character specific. I've said that like 20 times already, but it comes from matchup knowledge. That's the point. You can sort of sway this yellow section, because I won't do an EX Demon Flip on my own wake up if I'm fighting Cammy, who could do a cannon spike and beat me every single time. But I will do it if I'm fighting Seth, who does an uppercut and I can punish him for it. So you tend to know your opponent, and you can sway this yellow section over to the red, over to the green, and make clear-cut decisions based on that. Okay? So although there's a lot of sections in the yellow section for the Shoryuken, you can actually make decisions based on that. Okay? So the only definite, absolute definite, no matter what characters you are, things that you can't do on a Shoryuken is to jump on your own wake up, because the Shoryuken will catch you. You can't throw the Shoryuken, and you can't poke out normals. So lastly, I'm going to go back to the only viable way, absolutely, that you can block a Shoryuken is to block, of course. But this is FADC-able, Shoryukens are, where parries are not. So even if they hit the nothing, because you've blocked, they can FADC it to make it safe. EX parries, you can't do that. So basically, if they do nothing, they have punished you. Whereas if they do nothing on a Shoryuken, they FADC it, continue the pressure, or make it safe. So it's up to them. And there's an added issue with the parry, is that if you don't do an EX one, you still have to guess what zone the parry is in. So you have to guess low, medium, or it's probably not going to be a high on their wake up, but still, you have to guess. So hopefully by comparing these two sections, you can kind of see that the parry has a lot of things which will beat it. There's only 3 things which you have to worry about, and that's normals, which, like I've said, is a crouch tech or mashing punch or kick, and non-armor breaking specials, which often you can beat with a Shoryuken anyway, and some ultras. Everything else will punish you, so it's quite risky in that respect. If you compare it to the Shoryuken, a lot of those yellows are going to go over to the greens when you understand what character you're facing. Ryu probably isn't best to do an EX Shoryuken against Seth, because Seth's got way more invincibility, and you will know that, so you won't do it. Okay? You'll probably choose to do something else. So in this sort of comparison, you can see the parry is not as dangerous as you think it is in the Parryable reversals. Now that's not to say that we will be treading on Dudley's area, that we should get it just because it's not going to be dangerous. You know, do we need it? Our parry is very versatile as it is. So you can take this comparison for whatever you want, whatever you feel, whether you think it's going to be overpowered still. I think in this sort of comparison you can see that it's not as big a problem as people knee-jerk reactions it will be, but the main reason people want it is to stop mashes through block strings, because if Fei Long does a wrecker through a block string, even if we just block and baited it out, it's completely in his ballpark now. We can't do anything against that wrecker, and so the pressure's with him now. He's got really good normals, he's got really good wreckers, and so he's got frame advantage just through mashing for our block string. If we could do a block string and then medium punch parry and he does a wrecker into it, it would punish him for mashing. That's mainly the thing why people want it. But could we just EX parry on their wake up? According to this little comparison, it's not that big of a deal. They just can't do normal uppercuts, and they can't do some ultras, and they can't press normals, which means they could do pretty much anything else. You know? So they're very easy to get out of pressure just by not pressing any buttons. So there was my unbiased argument for and against it. So now let you make your own decisions on that. And so hopefully you've got your own opinions on this. I want to hear what your opinions are in the comments below and such. I don't recommend that we start parading this, you know, as saying this is a perfect reason, but I want a good, healthy discussion on whether it's a good idea or a bad idea. And let's hopefully feel like maybe it's worth thinking about, because it doesn't seem that powerful, but it does seem very useful. So yeah, it could hopefully be a good change if people think we need it.